Hey there, Reddit. My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years, and until recently, I was sure that she was the woman I wanted to marry. She's always had a nasty habit of lashing out at me when we argue, and while I'm not always the best at communicating when I need to, when we disagree, I always try to be respectful and mindful of how my words can affect her, as I feel any partner should. We are both emotional people, and when we first got together, she had very recently come out of a very hurtful relationship. And so I tried my best to let things go and hope that it was just a defense mechanism she developed. And if I showed compassion and understanding, it would be a wall that would come down in time. However, 5 years later, it's only gotten worse. When she lashed out early on, it would be a small slight here and there. But as our relationship continued, they grew worse. A few months ago, she called me an intimacy worker in front of coworkers because I was telling a story about high school, and she was retroactively jealous of my old relationships. Then she told me I didn't do enough for her birthday, even though I had been the only one financially supporting us for 2 months at that point, and had made it clear I wouldn't be able to afford much, which she told me she was okay with. I took her out bar hopping and out for karaoke, and at the time I thought she had fun. She didn't bring up that she was upset until days later. And then, a few weeks ago, she went through my phone while I slept and found a locked note of intimate private thoughts that I used to sort myself out and maintain my mental health, almost like a journal. She tried to break into it a few times and kept a list of the password guesses on her phone. She confronted me about it, and when I wouldn't let her read it, she said she felt closer with her abusive ex than she ever has with me, that our intimacy life is boring, she's faked all her orgasms for the last year, and that all I do is work on my stupid freaking videos. I've been trying to get a YouTube channel going for about a year now and have gained nearly 4K subscribers. It's not much, but it's finally at a spot where it's making a tiny bit of money. These comments were all made within 30 seconds of each other, and they felt so visceral and precise. She invalidated our relationship, our intimacy life, and my passion. And for what? Just to hurt me? I asked her that if I had kept a personal journal, would she have gone through that as well? And she hardly hesitated before essentially saying, yes. So on top of the hurtful comments, having my things looked through, whether they're digital or not, make me feel like I'm living under a microscope. Ever since this argument, it's like a switch has flipped. I don't want to have intimacy, I don't want to spend time together, and I don't think about our future. And it sucks so much. Our lease is up at the end of the month, and we were going to move in with my parents to save money for a house. But at this point, I'm considering ending the relationship so we can go our separate ways. It sucks so much because we've built a life together, and I have so much love for her, but I just don't know if I can bring myself to come back from this. Am I wrong in feeling this way, or is this just something that happens as you spend more time together as a couple, and that we need to work through? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. If you're supporting her, then yes, leave her. Talk to her first, tell her how you feel. If she can't apologize and learn to control her controlling habits, then you're done. I would just leave her though. I have been with my boyfriend for 10 years, unfortunately, and never once felt the need to go through his phone. Comment 2. What would you tell your son? Do that. Anticipate all hell to break loose, but leave with your dignity. Be a respectful gentleman, but take real caution and depart this untenable situation with grace and class. Now for the update. Hey there, Reddit. Thanks for sticking around. So, things have escalated since I last posted. My girlfriend, well, she did something that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. She quit her job without telling me. Just up and left. Said she couldn't handle the stress anymore. I get wanting to leave a job that makes you miserable. But we had plans, you know? We were saving up for a house, and now it's all on me. I'm not just hurt, I'm scared about our future. Then, out of nowhere, she booked a trip for herself. Said she needed to find herself, whatever that means. She didn't ask, just used the last of her savings, and left me here to handle the bills and the rent that's about to end. I'm left questioning everything. What does this mean for us? Is this her way of walking out of the relationship? While she's been gone, I've had a lot of time to think. I've been talking to friends and family, trying to get some perspective. My buddy Mike reminded me of how she used to be so supportive when we first met, how she'd cheer me on with my YouTube channel. Now it's like she resents it, resents me. And my sister, she never liked my girlfriend much. Said she saw this coming from a mile away. Said she always thought my girlfriend was using me as a stepping stone, waiting for something better. I've been trying to keep busy, focusing on my channel. It's been a good distraction, and the community there has been supportive. They don't know the details, but they can tell something's off. The channel's growing, slowly but surely. It's one of the few things that's been going right. Then, the news dropped. She came back early from her trip, walked in like nothing happened. She had this look in her eyes, like she'd made some big decision. She sat me down and told me she was pregnant. I was floored. We hadn't planned this, not with everything so up in the air. She said it happened right before she left, that she didn't know until she was away. I didn't know what to say. Part of me was angry she'd been so reckless. Part of me was terrified, and a small part was excited. But the trust between us is so broken, I'm not sure what to believe. She's been acting different since she told me, more attentive, but it feels off, like she's trying to trap me. Now, I'm stuck. I want to be there for my child, but I don't know if I can be there for her. Not after everything. I've been looking at apartments, thinking maybe I can find a place of my own, be a co-parent or something. But then I think about my kid growing up in a broken home, and it tears me up inside. I've decided to stick it out for now, see if things can get better. Maybe it's the shock of the news, or maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment. But I'm going to try and make it work, for the baby's sake. I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision, but it's the only one I can live with right now. Thanks for reading, folks. It means a lot. My girlfriend's church friend tries to break us up with her parents' money. So I end the relationship and expose their scheming to the entire congregation. My girlfriend, 24-year-old female, and I, 25-year-old male, have been dating for almost a year now. Sometime in January, she made friends at her local church Bible group. Her mom really wanted her to go because I am not a Christian, so she feels her daughter is losing her Christianity. They have asked her to leave me 8 months in, but my girlfriend and I love each other and don't think it is fair. I have tried going to church, but nothing works to win them over. Anyways, she met someone, a girl, she likes there, and the two of them explore the city now. But I can't help but feel like every time I am free, the friend asks her to hang out and pays for it all. I feel kind of overshadowed sometimes. Several times, her new friend and her friend group invite her, and only her, to dance and social events like bars and boils. There are a lot of single guys at these events, so I asked my girlfriend why I don't get invited. It makes me uncomfortable if she dances with other guys and gets drunk around them. These new friends are known to be condescending towards me because I am shorter, nerdier, and not a Christian. They are religious. This new friend basically keeps inviting her to bars and tries to find guys as she is single. And it makes sense. But how common is it to drag a girl in a serious relationship to a girls' night every week? Every time we fight, she gets her so much stuff and even has booked some expensive stuff for her birthday. She's made a joke telling me to pick up my game, but it honestly feels like she is trying to show my girlfriend she doesn't need me. Especially when she tries to plan things on Valentine's Day with her. Maybe I am jealous, and she is just a good friend. Guys don't really do this, so I don't know if I'm being stupid. But just for the record, I do treat my girlfriend well. I just live an hour away. I'm doing a master's and work, so I only become free on weekends, which the friend likes to take from me now, even though she lives 10 minutes away. Update. A lot of people are claiming the whole religion thing. We have had the religion talk. She is not religious, and most young people are not. She went to the Bible study, but it was more of a social networking thing. I should have never mentioned religion because now everyone is already hating like her parents. The bars are a girls' night or birthday celebration thing with just girls. I asked her not to go dancing without me or go to bars without me, and so she is not going. But the friend claims her time other ways, like walking or working out. I get invited now, but I just feel like I don't get along with them. She does not go out with her if I am not invited. The friend just invites her, though, and eats up a lot of her time. I find it disrespectful that she assumes my girlfriend can just go out with her to these places where it could be a date. The friend is not being funded by her parents. She is just rich and generous. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. OP, open up your eyes, man. Why would this random girl keep paying for your girlfriend? I'm pretty sure the parents are financing the friend to go out with your girl in the hopes that it causes enough of a commotion between you to create a rift. Now, I would advise you to get out of that relationship. She's going out dancing but doesn't want you to come along. Well, we all know what happens in bars. There is a reason you're not being invited. Get out. You're a young man. Find someone who is not controlled by their parents at age 24. LOL. Comment 2. I am going to get downvoted a lot, but I believe that first comes your other half, and then everyone else. I never have to choose between my girlfriend and my friends because my girlfriend is always first. But it's not in a toxic way. I just have priorities. I love her more than anything, and spending time with her is awesome. Now for the update. Thanks for all the comments on my last post. So here's what went down this past week. The friend, let's call her Miss Moneybags, decided to throw a wrench in our relationship by booking a weekend getaway for my girlfriend, a spa retreat no less. And guess what? It was for the same weekend I finally got some time off from my studies and work. Coincidence? I think not. I confronted my girlfriend about it and she was torn. She knew how much I needed that weekend with her, but Miss Moneybags had already paid for everything, non-refundable. My girlfriend chose to go, saying it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I couldn't believe it. She chose a spa over me. While she was away, I got a call from one of her church friends, a guy who's always been decent to me. He told me Miss Moneybags had been bragging about how she was going to liberate my girlfriend from me, saying she deserved someone who shared her values and could keep up with her lifestyle. That stung. I knew Miss Moneybags didn't like me, but to actively try to break us up, that's low. When my girlfriend got back, she was all apologies, saying she realized she made a mistake and that she should have stood up to Miss Moneybags. But damage was done. I felt second best, and I couldn't shake the feeling that my girlfriend was starting to believe Miss Moneybags' lies about me. Then, the news dropped. Miss Moneybags had set up a blind date for my girlfriend at the spa retreat. My girlfriend confessed ashamed, saying she didn't go through with it. But the fact that she even considered it was enough for me. It was clear Miss Moneybags was more than just a friend with an agenda. She was a puppet master pulling strings. I had enough. I told my girlfriend it was either me or Miss Moneybags. She hesitated, and that hesitation was all I needed to see. I cut her off. I told her to enjoy her new high-rolling friends and her manipulated life. I was done being the backup plan. The aftermath was messy. Her parents called me, blaming me for the breakup, saying I was never good enough for their daughter. Her church friends sent me messages, some pitying me, others accusing me of not fighting hard enough for her. But I knew I had made the right call. I couldn't be with someone who let others dictate our relationship. As for Miss Moneybags, she got what she wanted. She had my girlfriend all to herself, but at what cost? My girlfriend lost someone who truly cared for her, and I lost my faith in what I thought was a solid relationship. Thanks for reading. My family pressures me to marry like my cousin. But when his engagement party turns into a disaster, I book a one-way ticket to freedom. Instead, my cousin and I, both 24-year-old males, are the oldest two grandchildren in our combined extended families. I come from a large and traditional rural Turkish family. Now, my cousin and I are very different people, as are our fathers, who are siblings. My cousin has never lived apart from his parents, stopped his education after high school, and pursued a blue-collar job. Additionally, he grew up in the same house with my grandparents and parents, who all lived together. My uncle never moved out of his parents' house either, and stopped going to high school midway through without finishing it. In contrast, I moved out at 18 and went to university. After that, I went to graduate school, and now I am working my first traineeship in my field. I followed in the footsteps of my parents, who moved out of my grandparents' house at 18, and established themselves after pursuing a university education outside of Turkey. As a result, I grew up with a North American and Dutch cultural influence, which greatly shaped my worldview and views. Now, my cousin got his first girlfriend a year ago. 3 months in, his dad forced him to introduce her parents to our family. 5 months in, they were engaged. They also had no physical relationship until their engagement, which was left at a kiss. This summer, they are getting married. That being said, I am now the target of my extended family as the next one they expect to get married. I have had 2 short-lived and unsuccessful relationships in my life so far. Therefore, I am honestly enjoying being 24 and single, and I do not want to date right now at all. I am quite closed off to the idea for the time being. However, my family, including my parents, keep making jokes and remarks about how I have never had a relationship and how it is so nice to explore your young adult life with your special someone. They also make comments like, if only I had a daughter-in-law to give this gift to, which is frustrating. When I try to set a boundary by saying, I would rather experience the world on my own as an adult first, my entire family becomes extremely offended. My grandparents are even worse in this regard. They actually ask me questions like, wouldn't it be nice to come home to your laundry cleaned and have a proper warm meal after work? I usually respond by saying that I don't need a slave. I need a partner, which offends my uncle, cousin, and grandpa. All men who are unable to even crack an egg for themselves and treat their wives as house slaves. Anyways, I constantly receive remarks, pressure, and matchmaking attempts from my family because my cousin and I are always compared in terms of these things, and I'm sick of it. I know it will only get worse at his wedding, and honestly, I'm thinking about skipping the wedding and using the money instead to go on vacation to assert my boundaries. How can I cancel on the wedding and/or put a stop to this pressure I keep receiving? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I'm from a different culture than you, but I think that it is safe to say that your family is probably not going to stop bugging you until you do get married. If you now live back in your hometown, you will probably just need to keep deflecting. If you live in Western Europe or North America, basically far enough away where no one from your family can just drop by, you could tell them about your girlfriend back in London or wherever. This will probably give you some breathing room. Comment 2. I had this all through my late 20s. I had no interest in marrying the girls they made me meet. I kept saying no. Just say no, and when they say why, you say, I don't want to be unhappy in a marriage that I would regret and that you would regret. Turn it back on them. Now, for the update. Thanks for sticking around for the update. So, last week was pretty up and down, and not the fun kind. It all started when my cousin's fiancée, let's call her E, decided to throw a surprise engagement party. She wanted to bring both families closer before the wedding. Sounds nice, right? Wrong. The party was at our grandparents' house, and guess who was in charge of the entertainment? Me. Because apparently I need to get involved and show some family spirit, as my mom put it. During the party, my uncle, who's always had a bit too much to say about my life, decided to play matchmaker. He introduced me to E's cousin, who was visiting from out of town. She was nice and all, but I wasn't interested. I tried to be polite, but my uncle kept pushing, saying things like, "You'll thank me when you're not alone anymore." It was embarrassing, but here's where it gets messy. E's cousin was actually seeing someone back home. Her boyfriend showed up unannounced, and it turned into a huge scene. He was yelling, she was crying, and my uncle was in the middle of it, trying to calm everyone down. The party ended with E's cousin leaving with her boyfriend, and my uncle looking like a fool. You'd think that would be enough drama for 1 week, but no. A few days later, my cousin found out that his job is relocating him to another city. E doesn't want to move because her whole life is here. They had a massive fight, and guess who they came to for advice? Me. I told them they needed to figure it out together, but they just kept arguing. In the midst of all this, my grandparents decided to renew their vows. They said it was to show my cousin and E the importance of sticking together. The whole family was roped into planning this event, which is happening next week. And of course, my family saw this as another opportunity to nudge me about finding someone. So now I'm stuck helping with a vow renewal while dodging my family's attempts to set me up, and listening to my cousin and E bicker about their future. I'm exhausted, but hey, at least I'm not the one moving or dealing with a surprise boyfriend, right? Thanks for reading. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.